Do you like playing video games? Well, I love them. I love them so much that I actually started making my own. Of all the genres out there, there's one that completely stole my heart. Roguelikes. By the way, have you ever heard of a game called Shiren the Wanderer? It's a pretty well-known game in Japan, but outside of Japan, most people have probably never heard of it. So let me quickly explain how it works. First of all, this game is turn-based. Every time you make a move, the enemies take a move too. Every time you enter, the map, the enemies, and the items are all randomly generated. That means no two adventures are ever the same, and every time you challenge the dungeon, you start back at level 1. You're not leveling up your character, you're leveling up yourself. It's a game that demands high strategy and real player skill, and once you start, it's incredibly addictive. Shiren the Wanderer is a game that outside of Japan, very few people have ever heard of. We're probably talking just a few tens of thousands of people at most. But look at this. Here's the English Steam page. Over 800 users. And more than 80% gave it a positive review. That tells you something. The game itself is genuinely good. It's just not well known outside of Japan. In fact, it's only been a hit in Japan. This game is pretty tough, especially for beginners. And honestly, that might be one reason why it never really caught on outside of Japan. Every time you enter a dungeon, you start back at level 1. And if you die, you lose everything. All your items, even weapons you've spent hours upgrading. It's brutal. So yeah, it's not for everyone. Some people might just give up. But for the right kind of player, it hits hard. In fact, it became a huge hit in Japan. One of the titles in the series even sold nearly 1 million copies. Actually, I'm currently working on a game of my own, inspired by Shiren the Wanderer. My goal is to create something that both beginners and hardcore players can enjoy. The story mode is designed to be accessible, even for newcomers. But once you beat it, the post-game dungeons, they're going to be brutal. I'm building this game in Unity. It's been about 30 days since I started development, and yeah, it's been a long journey. In the beginning, it barely even looked like a game. I made progress little by little, step by step, and if you watch closely, you'll see the screen slowly start to look more and more like Shiren the Wanderer. It was pretty much a cycle of coding and fixing bugs, over and over again. I'm pretty sure this is the only channel in the world that's documenting the development of a Shiren the Wanderer style game, from scratch, all the way to completion. Releasing the game on Steam won't be the end. I want to keep adding more content, like new dungeons, and maybe even a ranking system, so players can compete and compare their runs. I'm imagining a global ranking system, where players from around the world compete for high scores. But here's the thing, I'll need to set up a server to make that work, and keeping it running costs money. That's why I'm trying to grow this channel. So if you're enjoying this journey, please consider supporting me by liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment. And this is the latest footage of the game I'm working on. I think you can already see the Shiren the Wanderer inspiration that I mentioned at the beginning. It's only been about a month, so of course it's nowhere near finished yet, but honestly, it's already starting to feel like a real game. And if you've ever played Shiren, I think you'll start to notice those little details too. There's actually a major part of this game that's very different from Shiren the Wanderer. I can't reveal it just yet, but once I make more progress, I definitely want to show it off. And honestly, balancing that part of the game might take me up to a year, but I'm okay with that. Because for me, this is the most important part of the game, and it's not something I want to rush. Right now, every dungeon map is procedurally generated, so each run feels different. At the moment, I'm using just one map generation algorithm. But in the future, I plan to add several more to keep things fresh. I'm also planning to add different tile types, like water tiles, sky tiles, and more. Some enemies will be able to move across water, others might power up while standing on it, or even recover HP when they're in water. It's going to add a whole new layer of strategy. Thanks so much for watching all the way to the end. Next, I plan to improve the UI and maybe add some new elements, like weapons, armor, and items like books. I'm hoping to finish most of the core game systems within the next 6 months. If you enjoyed this and want to support the project, it'd mean a lot if you gave the video a like, and maybe subscribe to the channel too. Thanks again, and see you in the next devlog.